Hey everyone, Tribal Talk is back. Brooks and Will are back after a 2, 3 week hiatus. I
Who
thought,
remembers?
what'd you say?
I said I don't even remember. Who does?
It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Uh, we were both moving back to school and we kind of ran out of things to talk about, waiting for the cast announcement. And they finally announced it yesterday on my birthday. So thank you, Jeff Probst, for that little birthday present. But Will,
hmm
are you ready for Survivor season 35? Heroes versus healers versus hustlers.
I am so ready for Survivor season 35. That's what we're calling it. Survivor season 35.
I like Triple H.
Triple H is nice too. I
I
like
think
Triple
I'm
H.
I think I'm gonna refer to it now as Triple H.
Okay.
Although I think I figured out what I don't like about it. I think it should be heroes versus hustlers versus healers. It's
That
sort
still
of
sounds bad. Let's go with Triple H.
okay. Okay. So
Deal.
yeah, stupid name title.
Yeah.
In case if you're late to the party, basically the tribes are sort of separated into how others see these people. So heroes are like your firefighters and policemen, and there's a lifeguard. Those types of people, veterans, uh, and one person who doesn't really seem to fit into that, but we'll get to that. Uh, and then um, the healers are like doctors, physical and emotional healing. So there's like therapists and social workers, those types. And then hustlers are like the go-getters. It doesn't necessarily have like a negative
Right.
connotation. It's more like, you know, you're hustling to get your money,
Yeah.
and that's you know, it could be. I mean, you could be like someone who works in corporate America, or you could be blue collar.
Mhm.
It's sort of everybody hustles in some way or another. Um, so, an interesting concept. How do you feel about it, Will? Do
I
you
think,
like it?
yeah, no, I think the concept is great. I even think the divisions are great. Like, I think heroes versus healers versus hustlers, like, those are really cool concepts, and I like the theme. Um, because I think that that's something Survivor hasn't done before. Like, not gonna lie, it's very blue collar versus white collar versus this third tribe. But also, I think that it's really effective. I don't know. It's just like it's three different approaches to life, and like listening to Jeff explain it is really cool. I just think that they should not be referring to this by its name. Like I love the theme heroes versus healers versus hustlers. I hate that they're trying to make me say it all of the time.
I think it's a cool concept. They were, originally going to do like Worlds Apart 2,
Right.
but
Which was
instead
so
of
bad.
no collars, they were going to have the pink collars, which is like the quote unquote like doctors and
Yeah.
nurses and things like that. But they decided, but they found, people that do
Yeah.
this emotional healing. So like they're actually healers, and then it sort of gets into, well, we don't have to go into it too much, but I'm okay with the concept in theory. I think we'll get into it a little bit more, but I think there's some people who I don't necessarily agree on the tribe they were placed on. I think some people maybe need to do some switching around, but we'll get into that. There's always one or two that I don't think belongs, like Alicia on the Braun tribe,
They do it intentionally.
Yeah,
They've got it. I mean, you got to stir the pot somehow.
yeah. Um, Now, well, so we've we've watched all their videos and read their biographies,
Yeah.
and we're gonna go through each person and give our sort of hot take on them.
Yeah.
But let's preface this by saying we could be totally wrong. we could be 100% right. We just don't know. We haven't looked at any spoilers. There's probably some out there already. But I don't like to be spoiled, like boot spoilers, because I don't know, it just sort of ruins the fun, because it's like you want the person that goes home to be a surprise, you know. Uh, so I don't like reading boot spoilers, you know. So I don't have any outside information. It's totally just what I know from watching every season of the show. Like, I can sort of tell if someone is in over their head. Um,
Correct. And there are a couple.
yeah, there's a couple in over their head. And Will and I probably have different opinions on some people. So uh, let's get right. Yeah, let's get right into it, Will. Uh,
Wait,
so
first, can I like preface this by saying that I really like this cast, like as a whole. I'm really excited about all of them together. Like I don't think there are really any duds in terms of like TV characters. Because like I have some like some negative opinions about some of these people, but I think they're all really great people. So like most of my comments refer to them as game players on Survivor. That's all I'm gonna say. I just want to preface it.
yeah, I mean, just for the cast overall, I think Survivor casting has done it again. I think they have found some really entertaining people to watch,
Mhm.
and I'm pretty confident that it's going to hold when the season starts airing. If not, I guess I'll be eating my own words. But Survivor has really, in the past few years, really raised the bar in terms of casting
Yes.
great people who are not only fun to watch but also play the game. Whereas Big Brother has sort of lowered the bar, Survivor has
Let's not
raised the
go there.
bar.
Let's not go there.
So, uh, yeah, I first impressions of the cast overall is good. I think
Yeah.
there were only honestly one or two people I really didn't think belonged there, and we'll
Yeah.
get into it. But um, so, Will, you want to start off with the Heroes Tribe?
Sounds good.
You want to you want to talk about the hero men first?
We can. Or do you want to go
Okay.
alphabetically?
Uh, let's actually, yeah, we'll go alphabetically.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Uh,
Alan.
so Alan. So Alan is this season's stunt casting, celebrity casting. Although I'm not sure if he's like, I don't think he's John Rocker
No.
famous. You know, I mean, he played for the Cowboys
Right.
and the Jaguars in the NFL, but I don't think he was a major uh, football superstar or anything.
Right.
But and he's sort of saying that he's gonna hope that no one recognizes him because he's not gonna bring it up if they don't.
Mhm.
But I think that's gonna be a challenge for him because
Yeah.
Alan just looks like a football
He
player, you
does look
know.
like a football player.
I mean, he's really jacked, and he just looks like a football player.
Mhm.
So I think if they ask him what his job is, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And if he's lying on day one and people aren't buying it,
Right.
I wonder how it goes for him. But uh, I mean, in the early game, he's a huge asset in
Yeah.
challenges.
Yes.
I think, you know, I don't see him going home the first couple of episodes at all.
Mm-mm. Not a chance.
What are your thoughts on Alan, Will?
So so I watched the big cast video, so like the cast reveal where they just have snippets from everyone, and then I watched the full videos. And so in the snippet, the only thing I wrote down for Alan is that he's probably going to go deep. So like already, like that's just the vibe I'm getting. I don't know. He comes across as very personable, and I mean his career isn't football now, right? or am I wrong? So like he shouldn't have a problem lying about it because he won't really be lying because that's not what he does for a living anymore.
I think at the time this was filmed, he had just been uh, released from
Mhm.
the NFL like a few months prior.
Okay.
Uh,
He did something about a knee injury, right? Or just an injury?
yeah, he had an injury, and then he was released from whatever team he
Yeah.
was on. I mean, he's been on like 7 different teams. He's
Yeah.
been traded almost
Like
every season,
right, but like
and I
technically
don't
he's not still a football player. You know what I'm
know.
saying?
But I'm saying it's going to be so hard because he
Yeah.
just looks like a football
Right.
player.
I think he
Uh,
has the charisma though to be able to like integrate himself. Like I don't foresee Alan going home pre-jury.
no, I think the problem Alan faces is that he is a physical threat, and also, at least to me, comes across as a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And if we're just looking at survivor history,
Right.
most of these like athletes are usually like early post-merge boots
Yeah.
historically. Uh, and that's kind of where I have him being.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna go deep because I think if they let him go deep, they're crazy because he can win immunity challenges. But the tribe also needs him to win.
Right.
So I think he's someone you get rid of when he doesn't win immunity.
Okay. See, I think he will go deep because I think that the vibe that I'm getting from this tribe is that they're gonna like go the way that Blue Collar went. Like I can foresee like I would understand Alan taking the mic route, like the mic route. You know what I mean? Like going deep because he wins his way there because they just can't get rid of him because they don't want to, and then when they do want to, he's immune. That like I get that vibe.
I
I
could
just think he's too
see
likable
it.
to turn on.
I could see it. But I think, and the same kind of goes for all three of these heroes men.
Mhm.
I think that they are so strong.
Yeah.
Uh, all these other players are going to be going after them.
Oh yeah.
Um, but uh, any other thoughts on Alan Will?
I'm good.
I
I'm
did.
excited.
I did read in his bio, or he said it in his video that he isn't sure how someone will react, or not sure how he will react
Mhm.
when he's starving.
Yeah.
So I'm like, because he
I
he
know.
was
Mhm.
he was saying he gets cranky when he's hungry. So I'm like, I hope we don't have like a James
Yeah.
situation where he's fighting with people over bananas.
Let's hope.
Uh, um, but you think he's gonna go deep? I have him as like a early post-merge boot. Uh, I think history repeats itself for these athlete
Yeah.
types. They always seem to go around that early merge time.
Okay.
Um, moving on, let's talk about one of the girls on the Heroes tribe,
Yeah.
uh,
Ashley.
Ashley, who is a lifeguard in Florida.
Hmm.
And she's the first lifeguard I've ever seen that has a terrible sunburn.
Yeah. Like bad. It was a bad
Uh,
Sunday.
I think they should call this Survivor Sunburn because when I was watching these videos, about 10 people have some really bad sunburn.
And it's like before, it's not even day zero. It's like pre-day zero.
Yeah, this is when they're taking, you know, profiles and
Yeah.
stuff. That's hilarious.
For a
But
long 39 days.
um, I found her interesting. She's a fan of the show.
Mhm.
She's been watching it with her dad, and she'd always talked about applying, and then she finally did, and she got on. So I'm
Mhm.
always happy when super fans get on, even though they don't always do that
Do well.
well.
Yeah.
Uh, I prefer super fans over recruits usually.
Mhm.
But one thing I found interesting that she said is that she's not going to let the alpha males tell her what to do,
Mhm.
and she considers herself an alpha.
Yeah.
So I really thought that was interesting. Looking at the sort of like big guys that are on her tribe,
Mhm.
I wonder if that attitude is going to be a positive or a negative
Mhm.
as far as her relationship with them goes. What do you think?
So I wrote down the first thing I wrote down next to her is that she has really good energy and that she's personable, and so I think that could work in her favor. But I also wrote could be the easiest boot on the heroes tribe, and I think a lot of that has to do with that kind of I am the alpha outlook because like she's on a tribe with a football player and a marine, and like you know what I'm saying? Like they're not gonna want her to be like, no, I'm in charge. So I feel like she might rub them the wrong way. But I also wrote down low and slow because she mentioned wanting to play like slowly at the beginning, and I think if she can do that, and like if she doesn't come out guns blazing on day one, I think she can go really far because I think she has the skill set to win. Honestly,
See, I sort of pegged her as a girl who would, because she considers herself an alpha, she would
Mhm.
actually, get along with the men on her tribe and
Yeah.
actually vote out the other two women. That's sort
Okay.
of how I see it working out for
Okay.
her. Because I don't see what she's going to have in common with the other two women.
Right.
So I think she's going to bond more with the guys, especially the two younger guys, Alan
Yeah.
and
And JP.
JP.
Yeah.
I can see those three bonding well on the Heroes tribe for sure.
I could see
Uh,
that happening, but I also think that that would leave the other three to be together as like the older three. And I think that we'll get to this when we talk about him, but I think that JP is very easily persuadable, and I think that he would go with Ben. I think Ben would pull him. That's the
it's
only thing I'm worried
possible.
about is that Ashley's going to rub the women the wrong way and rub the men the wrong way. Hopefully not though, because I think she genuinely has the skill set to win.
I I don't have her winning.
Okay.
She's I there's just something. Maybe it's just because I don't know. I feel like this entire Heroes tribe
Hmm.
is going to be successful in the early game,
Yeah.
but in the late game, they're going to have huge targets on their back, sort
Hmm.
of like in uh, sort of like Philippines. What's the tribe
Right.
that always won? Tandang.
Yes.
Uh, Sort of how they kind of fell apart.
Hmm.
That's what I see happening for the heroes,
Yeah.
and I can see Ashley being a victim in that.
See, I almost see the opposite. Whereas, because like I feel like, like I don't know, just the vibe that I get from her, she would probably be the one of them that would be like, okay, you can all go. You know what I'm saying? Like I get that. I feel like of all of the of the six people on this heroes tribe, she's the only one that doesn't feel blue collar to me, if that makes sense. Like she feels the most laid back and the most perceptible to like flip the script.
Yeah, I think, and she's someone who I think, in a lot of ways, she sort of reminds me of Sydney from Co Wrong,
Yeah.
because, Sydney was like really close to the two guys on Braun. And then when the merge happened, she's like, see you later.
Yeah.
So I could see her teaming up with the guys in the early game and booting off the two women.
Yeah.
And then merge happens and she plays her own game. I
Yeah.
could see her doing that.
Hmm.
Uh, but I don't know. There's something about it. I just don't see her winning.
Okay.
She's not my pick on the Heroes tribe to win. We'll get to that
Okay.
person soon, but
Okay. I
uh
don't,
all right.
she's not my pick on the heroes tribe to win. I just think she could win. If that makes sense. Like I think she's in there, but she's not my top pick off of this tribe. I feel like we probably have the same pick off of this tribe, honestly. We'll get there.
I hope so, actually. Okay. So any other thoughts on Ashley?
I say let's talk about Ben.
Okay, you want to talk a little
Sure.
bit about Ben, and I'll chime in.
Yeah. So the first thought that I had about Ben was, wow, I didn't know we casted Rick again. I didn't know there were returnees on this season. Sorry, there's some shots in that full cast video where he's wearing the plaid and got his cowboy hat on, and I just genuinely thought he was Rick. I sorry. Um, but the other thing that I wrote is that I also think he's gonna go deep, and I feel like we've already talked about this. Like I feel like he's gonna be one of those people like Alan, who is a really huge asset pre-jury, and then gets to jury and is either hard to vote out because he wins immunity or hard to vote out because you like him. And also because Jeff said that he gets to tell his story on the show about like being a veteran and all, which means he has to go at least semi-deep. So thanks, Jeff.
Um, well, so I really like Ben. I think he's going to be a fun character. I
Mhm.
think we haven't seen a lot of him yet, but I think there's almost like some Keith Nail
Yeah.
potential in there, I think.
It's like if Keith and Rick had a baby.
Yeah, I can see that. Uh, but I think he's going to be a character. I think he's going to be, uh, I mean, Survivor has had so many like lovable redneck types,
Yeah.
like Big Tom, for instance,
Oh, Big
who's
Tom.
one of my favorites, just
Right.
because he's so funny. So I could see Ben being a big character.
Mhm.
Does he have what it takes to win? I'm not sure. I think with particularly the men on the heroes, I think first off, I think they're the three of the strongest men out there. Period.
Yeah.
I think the Heroes Tribe has the most jacked men of anybody.
Right. Well, they have to
Uh,
be. That's
yeah,
their job.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying
Right.
anything, but uh, and so I think when that merge hits, the three targets on their back. If all three of them
Yeah.
make it,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're one of these people, like if you're on the Hustlers tribe, like say you're that skinny Ryan guy, who you gonna go after? This big guy, that's like a huge threat. So um, I don't see a path to victory for Ben,
I
but
don't
I
either.
think he's going to be an entertaining character, and I think we'll probably see him play again if that turns out to be true.
Yes. I agree with all of the above. He will not win, but he will be around long enough to come back.
Yes. I mean, I just think he's going to be a fun character, like
Yeah.
in the Keith Nail type
Yeah.
of character,
And Jeff loves him. So
Yeah. And he was heavily featured in the promotion for this season.
yeah.
So
Which also
production
means he's
likes
not
him.
going to win, just FYI.
Ah!
Listen,
um,
they never do it. They never show the winner in the intros. Sometimes they do, but most of the time, all of the people they show in the intros go out pee early.
well, that's like half true. It's a
Game
mixed
changers,
bag.
game
But
changers.
Millennials versus Gen X, the only person they showed in the promos that went home early was Mari. So,
Yeah,
but it's like a mixed
sure.
bag.
Yeah,
Um, so are you ready to move on from Ben?
yeah,
All right, let's talk about the person on the Heroes Tribe that I think has the potential to win.
me too.
Uh,
Yeah.
and I gotta
Um,
say, we're talking about Chrissy,
yes.
who uh, is a financial analyst.
Mhm.
Not sure how that justifies her being on the Heroes Tribe,
No,
but
that's not why. She's a super mom. She's the super mom that Jeff keeps talking about because she did her job and then she like quit her job and started a family and raised her family and then went back to her job and is still raising her family and Jeff calls her super mom. That's why she's a hero. She's a hero
interesting.
because
I
she's better.
still I still think she should have been on a Hustler because that's hustling, you know. You see what I mean?
No,
I
well,
think she
no.
should have
The
been.
heroic part is that she quit her job to raise her family, and then once she raised her family, she went back to her job, and now
Raising
she's
a family is hustling.
but she wasn't hustling for money. She was hustling for love.
Anyway, I think she should be switched with someone that we'll talk about later. But uh, I think a lot depends on how many times Chrissy goes to tribal council in the pre-merge.
Absolutely.
Because I'm kind of nervous for her if the heroes go to tribal council more than once.
Yes.
Before like a swap or something. Because
Yes.
I think I don't see what she'll have in common with most of her tribe mates. I
Although
think
I do see a path. I see a path, and we can talk about that path in a little bit.
okay. Um, but I see her. She just comes from a different world. Like she's a numbers person.
Yeah.
And the rest of them are very like blue collar people.
Yes.
And so and she's also the only like non-athlete. Like she's on a tribe with 5 athletes, you know?
Right.
And so I'm just like, I'm nervous for her if they were to lose a challenge early. Although I don't think she's the first person who's going to go home from that tribe.
No, we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that person in a second. But I am nervous for her if they go a second time. But if they don't, and if Chrissy's on a tribe that keeps winning and Chrissy gets to the merge, I think Chrissy is running this game.
Yes. There's only one other exception, and we'll talk about that person later. But I think, aside from that one person that I want to talk about, yes, Chrissy runs the game. I'm so excited about her.
I loved her.
Me too.
I loved her personality. I read her bio and she was funny. I think she's going to be a fun character to watch.
Yeah.
And I will be very sad if she does go home pre-merge.
Me too. I'm trying to prepare myself for it. So next to her, I wrote down she's either Christina from Redemption Island, like that Christina, because she reminds me of her, where she's like smart, she knows the game, she has the skill set to win, and then they go to tribal council and she's exiled and goes home. Or she is Denise.
Yes, I agree with that. I
also wrote down Natalie Bolton because the way that she talks and like holds herself reminds me a lot of Natalie Bolton.
I can see that.
But I also wrote down that she's possibly too analytical for this tribe, which we've already touched on. So like, let's hope she goes the Denise route.
I see a lot of Denise in her, and I really hope she doesn't end up like Christina, because I think she's going to be fun to watch if she does go deep. And like I said, I think if she gets to the merge, because I really don't think she can really play very well with the people she's on the tribe with, because like I said, I just don't think she has anything in common with them, and I don't see them really giving her much of a chance because they do come from different worlds. It's just so much easier for those 3 men to get together, and then Ashley tags along as a 4th.
I think though that if she's smart, and I think she knows the game well enough to, and she talked about it a little bit too. I think if she lets the analytical part of her go and plays up the supermom part of her character, which is what Survivor has been promoting her as. That's like why she's on this tribe, is because she's supermom. I hope that's her and that I'm not wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong. If she plays that up, I think she immediately has Ben, and I think she immediately has JP. Just because of who they are as people, I think that if she plays up supermom, then she gets in with them, and I don't think they would ever I don't think they would turn on her. Do you know what I mean? Like I think it all depends on how she plays it. If she plays it as the financial analyst, then no, she's not going to be able to work with them at all. But if she plays it as supermom, at least in the beginning, then I think she's fine.
Yeah, she could also be like that Tina Wesson, like social player, like like just working them, like you know, or especially around camp, like, what can I do to help? Can
Yeah.
I do your laundry? Can I
Yeah.
go get you some water? You know, those things. I could see her very well doing little mind games like that to
She
sort
needs to
of
be. What are you saying?
to sort of, you know, buy her way into people's alliance, because I'm not sure if she is who they're going to immediately go to. You know,
Yeah.
I think she's going to have to work, at least in the early game. I think if a switch happens and she somehow gets out of that and the merge hits, I
Mhm.
think she is good. But
Yeah.
in the early game, she's gonna have to play up that social game
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
think she needs to be like, she needs to give off the Kumbaya Cass vibe, but she needs to be Chaos Cass, like behind it. So she needs to be Chaos Cass, but she needs to pretend she's Kumbaya Cass.
I well, I hope she's not like Cass, because then she'll piss everyone off. But
Right, but that's what I'm saying. She needs to be Chaos Cass, pretending to be Kumbaya Cass, so that she doesn't piss people off. Who's Chaos Chrissy?
oh
Hashtag
god,
Chaos Chrissy.
um, yeah, um, I see her more of it as a Denise.
Yeah, no, me too. Just, just wanted a reason to say hashtag Chaos Chrissy.
Maybe a little like Don Meehan in there or something.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Talk about Supermom.
Yeah. Um, all right. Well, so we are both like overwhelmingly in agreement about Chrissy. We really
Right.
like Chrissy.
We do really like Chrissy. Watch her go home like third now. Maybe like
I think
third.
she was a good casting choice.
Yes.
I just really feel like she was put on the wrong tribe.
I hope they didn't shoot her in the foot by putting her on this season.
I really think she should have been on the Hustlers.
I disagree because I mean, we'll talk about that later too.
But I think she would run that Hustlers tribe.
I don't know.
I think so. Anyway,
We'll talk about it later.
um,
Talk about JP.
sure.
All right. First thing I wrote down was I don't know if he'll actually play the game.
Yeah, he sort of screams like invisible edit to me.
Yeah, he screams. I'm just here to have a good. Not he doesn't actually scream. I'm just here to have a good time. That's someone else who we'll get to later. Um, I really
I know
like.
who you're talking about, probably.
Yeah, I really like JP. Like, I would be really cool if JP went deep. I don't think JP is gonna win. Like, he's not. He's not going to win. But like, I liked that. He talked about being super humble, and that's what he wanted to do. And he actually said that he wanted to. Or he mentioned something about being the gray middle guy. And I heard him say that, and I was like, I now understand all of the vibes that I'm getting off of you. Like, you are the gray middle guy. I think he's going to be much like I think he's probably going to end up in a Chase Rice position where he's very much so always the swing vote, and everyone is always like flipping him. I think JP will be easily flipped, particularly in the beginning.
Hmm. See, I see him more as like I think he's going to be the invisible edit. I really do. Uh, just because there's so many other personalities on that
Yeah.
heroes tribe. Um, I see him being like a Carter.
Okay.
Just,
I wrote
just
that next to someone else that we'll talk about later, but I also agree. Like I think he gives off that vibe, but I still stick by I think the game is going to eat him alive, and I think he will be a flip flopper in the beginning. And I
hmm.
think it will tear him apart.
He seems like someone who would like make an alliance on day one and just stick with it. And if they betrayed him, he would that would be when he was voted out. You know, like he would get blindsided because
Yeah.
I feel like he's
Right.
going to be that person that's loyal to a fault.
See, I see
Um,
him being someone who makes an alliance on day one, and then someone like Chrissy pulls on his heartstrings, and he feels really bad about getting rid of her, and so he flips. I
hmm.
see him always being in the follower position. I guess that's a better way to phrase that. Like I foresee him always having someone else kind of deciding what he does. Be it
Yeah.
Ben or Chrissy. I think one of the two of them is going to be his number one, and he's going to do whatever they want for the duration of the game.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Which is why I think he's getting that invisible edit, because he's not really going to be contributing much.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree at all.
We could be wrong, but I don't know. He just gives me that vibe.
Yeah. He's not going to
win. Yeah, because he wasn't really like high energy in his video. He was kind of, and that could just be him. He could just be kind of chill, but I don't know. Like you said, he's just kind of there.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it pans out. Maybe he'll surprise us.
Maybe. I hope so.
But
he seems like a really nice guy. So
I
think a lot of these other people's egos are going to rub him the wrong way. So I just don't foresee him.
I think, though, there are a lot of personalities on this season. And so there's bound to be a couple of people who get that invisible edit. Yeah. And I just think he's one of them, just on my first impression of him.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to talk about the
first boot?
The final person on the Heroes tribe that apparently we have similar feelings about. So Katrina, so she's an Olympic swimmer, so that's cool. Yeah, definitely the most intense person on this season.
Correct.
But she's self-aware about it, which is good.
Really it is nice.
Because not everyone is self-aware.
No.
But she says she's going to have to tone it down. But will she? That's the question.
The answer is no.
Yeah, I'm getting no. So in her bio, I read all their bios, and she said the player she's most like is Denise. I'm not getting Denise.
That right?
I'm not getting Denise. I'm getting like Debbie.
I'm getting a mixture of Debbie and like shades of Monica Culpepper.
I'm also getting like a hint of like, I'm getting like a hint of Wendy Jo.
Okay. Yes. Yes, definitely hints of Wendy Jo.
So yeah, this is probably going to be, if not the first person off the Heroes tribe, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I do not see her mixing well, especially with those guys.
No. Ashley's going to hate her.
Yeah, I don't think Ashley's going to like her. Chrissy might not even like her.
No,
so
I don't foresee any of it. Which makes me sad because she seems super nice. Like, I feel like Katrina is probably the like most personable person, if that makes sense. Like, she's almost too personable. She's too much.
I'm sure, like, outside of the game, she's fun, but I'm not sure she's someone you want to play with for 39 days.
No. She's got the Trish laugh. I can't.
And she is a member of the Sunburn Alliance.
Yes. There are quite a few people in the Sunburn Alliance.
Yeah. She has a nice little burn in her profile. But yeah, first boot. I'm calling it first boot.
I'm calling it first boot too. I have that vibe.
Because I know, to me, the Heroes tribe is the most jacked. But at the same time, these early challenges usually come down to a puzzle anyway. Mm-hmm. And I could see Katrina be like, I'll do the puzzle. Mm-hmm. And I could see her.
You should do the puzzle?
Yeah, and I could see her screw. I'm writing the whole first episode right now, people. I could see Katrina screwing it up royally and getting voted out.
Yes. And that's probably Chrissy's saving grace, too, is Katrina messes up the puzzle and that, like, Chrissy gets mad with the rest of the tribe and then she's in good. That's how it's all right, we know. We're already good. We don't even need to watch the premiere episode. We know what's going to happen.
Yeah. on the flip side, this whole super idol thing may benefit Katrina. Who
Maybe.
knows?
Maybe.
We'll talk about that at the end. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, she could really shock me and go far, but not gonna happen. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I think she has too much potential to be too much.
Yeah,
She's just gonna rub people the wrong way.
yeah. And honestly, if not her on that Heroes Tribe, who?
Ooh, yeah.
Like I don't see 4 out of those 6. I don't see going home pre-merge.
Yeah.
So um, I just don't. So sorry, Katrina. Maybe she'll surprise us.
Maybe.
But
We'll see.
um,
I'll eat my words. That's fine.
all right, well, so that was our last hero. Are you ready to
Yeah.
move on to the healers?
Let's do it.
Okay,
You want to start with Carter?
Carter.
Sorry, I mean Cole.
Yeah, sure.
You didn't catch my joke.
Oh, you think he's getting the invisible edit?
I don't necessarily mean in terms of edit. That's just character archetype. He is the Carter or the J. You know what I mean? Like he is that character.
Well, I definitely see the J quality.
Yeah. He has Taylor's face. It's kind of disconcerting.
I will say though, I think maybe I got a different vibe from Cole than you did. I think he, first off, has one of the most interesting jobs the
Yeah.
Survivor has ever had. He's a wilderness therapy guide, and
Mhm.
I did not know what that was. And just to explain it to the people watching, because I know Will knows what it is now, but it's basically he takes, teens who had like troubled childhoods and have experienced, trauma from that and who have difficulty, uh, maturing as they're getting older. So he takes these teens into the wilderness and they have this therapy of like sort of living in their own elements and stuff. And sometimes it can go for up to like 200 days, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But first off, that makes them very prepared for this game
Yes.
because the survival aspect, if you've got that down, I mean, all you've got to really worry about is playing the game, like, because I mean, I feel like half of your worrying as a player is like,
Staying alive.
yeah. So, but he already knows how to do that because,
Right.
and in a way, I feel like that desert environment is actually harsher than where they're going to be, which is in Fiji on a beach.
Yeah.
So, I think that's interesting. So I think, and he is actually going to be a necessity for his tribe in that way because
they're going to have him.
Yeah, he's going to be like the provider for that tribe. So I don't think he goes home pre-merge at all. I think he's in the post-merge, and I see him honestly because when I was watching, I was like, wow, I really like this guy. I could see him being like the really likable, like Malcolm type. I could really see that. I'm not sure. I just haven't seen enough to know what he's like as a player, but I really could see him being like the Malcolm type. It's like the fan favorite.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's one of the most jacked guys out there, so he may win his way to the finals. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I liked Cole. I thought, and I think the people on his tribe are going to really like him.
Yeah.
So, did you? How are you feeling on Cole?
So my Carter comparison isn't a jab. I really like Carter. Like Carter was one of my favorite people from Philippines. So like I really like Cole. I think that similarly to JP, I even wrote down next to his name that I think he and JP will work really well together because I think Cole is not going to be able to handle the backstabbing part of this game. I think that because of his line of work, that he is just like, this experience is going to be a profound thing for him. And I think it's going to be very apart from the game. And I think he's going to have a hard time buckling down and like playing, which could be really good for him if it gets really dirty towards the end and he's not a part of it, much like Jay. Like if Jay gets to the end in Millennials versus Gen X, he has a good chance at winning because he just wasn't like Jay's heart was always the thing that he used rather than his head. And I think that Cole will use his heart more than he uses his head in the game. But I definitely think he's more game savvy than JP. I think he has a little bit more. He follows his gut a little bit better in terms of that. Like not like in general, because I think JP's a firefighter. You know, he's got to have a good gut. But like, I just think that Cole will make better game decisions. But I still don't think he's gonna be like a player. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he's gonna be the next super strategist to come out of Survivor. He's not gonna run the game beginning to end. But I think that he has a really good chance at going deep.
Yeah. I don't think he'll be like super strategist, although I guess it could surprise me, but I do see him being like a Malcolm type. I do. And I think people are going to like him.
Yeah.
No matter what he does. And who knows, maybe he'll be like a returning player sometime, depending on, how things go and if he's popular or something. I think he's going to be popular no matter, I mean, even if he's out like early post merge, I think he's going to be popular.
It'll depend on his edit, but
yeah,
I agree.
Okay. It sounds like we're in agreement there. So moving on to Desi. So I was concerned for Desi because of the Beauty Queen curse.
And because of how hyped she is?
Yes. Beauty Queens historically have not done well on Survivor.
R.I.P. Queen Morgan.
And, Angie and Katie and Hope, Jeffra, the list goes on. Historically have not done well. No. Kim from Palau, for those who remember Kim from Palau, if any, the three people that remember Kim from Palau, but they haven't done well. She seems nice and she seems likable.
Yes.
But it seemed like the big part of her strategy was like playing the flirt card. Yeah. And I feel like that worked for girls for a while, but lately not so much.
No, it doesn't work anymore.
Like, look what happened to Figgy.
Yeah. Someone who had really good game sense. Figgy had really good game sense and like still
like look what happened to Allie.
Yeah.
From Fans versus Favorites 2. Like it does
another
not
person who had really good game sense.
It does not pay to have showmance with a guy because it seems like they keep the guy and get rid of you.
Yes.
So
because that's what you do in
the so I really hope, and I mean, just looking at who she's on the tribe with, the only guy she can talk to really that's not married is Cole.
Yeah. Right.
And they're not going to get rid of Cole. So who do you get rid of? Desi. So I'm concerned for her. She's also, I mean, she's really built, and I think she's physically strong. And I think, I mean, she is a physical therapist, so I think she's
right. She's her doctorate.
Yeah, so she's smart. She's like a triple threat. So I have a hard time justifying keeping her around if I'm a player.
Yeah.
I'm like, I should be getting Desi out, And looking at who she's on a tribe with, I do not see them keeping her around because I think she's got some gamers on her tribe.
Oh yeah. And if she's not going to be a gamer, she's going to go.
she was also recruited, and sometimes recruits do well and
Yeah.
they win. But um, if she, I'm afraid that she's coming into this game
Mhm.
with a plan, and she hasn't seen a season where someone had that plan,
Yeah, and they did
like
a good job.
Allie or someone,
Yeah.
So because she said she had not really watched the show that much, so I'm nervous for Desi. I think the beauty queen curse is real.
Yeah. I
What are
wrote
your
down,
thoughts?
well, the first thing I wrote down was that she is too hyped to go far. That like it's just I hate that that's what it is, but like that's what it is. Survivor is pushing her too hard for her to go far. Because then one, it's obvious that she's gonna win. You know what I mean? Like if you're pushing someone that hard and they make it to the merge, they're probably gonna win. Two, I just think that she's the next Michaela. Like they pushed Michaela really hard before Millennials versus Gen X, and she was a pre-merge boot, and then they brought her back. And I think the same thing is going to happen with Desi. I think she's going home pre-merge, and then they're going to bring her back.
Yeah, I could see Desi being a good pre-merge character. Um, Probably with her like flirting strategy.
Yeah, I
Like who
bet
knows? Maybe
she's probably. Hmm?
her and Cole may have like a little showmance thing that may like
Yeah,
be to her detriment.
yeah.
So
I think she's the last person to go before the merge,
I
or the
could see
second
that.
last. She's either the Figgy or Michaela boot.
Yeah, I could see that. Um, all right. Sounds like we're in agreement there too.
Yeah, which makes me
Uh,
sad because I really like her.
she could surprise us.
Let's hope.
I'm looking at the person and then I look at who they're on the tribe with. And
Yeah,
I'm just like, are these people going to play with you? And I
right.
just don't see them playing with her.
No.
Um, all right. Who's next, Will?
Joe.
Joe.
Can I be upfront?
Sure.
I
I
don't know.
prefer it that way.
I don't know that I like Joe. I think Joe has a really good heart and a quick brain. That's what I wrote down. I think that he has really good, like I think he's a really good person, but I think that he is a manipulator. I think he looks like a manipulator. Like I think if you look at him, you immediately say you are going to try and manipulate me. Um, I think he owns that. I think it's going to be bad for his game. Um, I don't know. I think that the game player is going to come out in him too quickly, like Nick.
Yeah. So when I was reading his bio, he really sort of he compared himself to like three past former winners, Tony, Jeremy, and Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Survivor really wants this guy to be the next Tony.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think he really wants to be the next Tony.
they have the same aesthetic.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a probation officer,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is interesting, and I think
Yeah.
can be really useful in Survivor because
Yeah.
he's used to dealing with people who are lying to him on a constant basis.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's used to having a poker face,
Yeah.
So I think he has the potential, but is he trying to emulate Tony too much? Is
Yes.
he going to play too aggressive too fast?
Yes.
Yes, that is what I also see that for Joe. Um, I see Joe. You said Desi was like the last boot before the merge.
Yeah.
I see Joe. Like
Okay.
I think the swap is. I don't think Joe's going to be like the first four.
No.
I think the swap happens,
Mhm.
and Joe's like a Peter.
Yeah, I agree. I think that
see.
Joe and Desi are those two boots right before the merge.
Yeah, I see. Because I really don't see the healers losing a challenge early on.
Right.
I think that'll be between the heroes and the hustlers who
Yeah.
lose the first couple of immunities, just because the healers tribe is like the most all around jacked to me.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's another person who would probably go home before either of them too.
Yeah. Um, so I see Joe as like a Peter.
Yeah.
And he could surprise me, and he could be the second coming of Tony, but I just don't see it happening. I think Tony's game has been figured out, and that's why he went home early
Yes.
in his second run, and so I don't see good things happening for Joe. Could be surprised, but I see him being Peter 2.0 than Tony 2.0.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree.
Is that kind of where your head's at?
Yeah, he's either going home pre-merge or he is the merge boot.
Yeah. He's he's just too smart for his own good. He's and it'll be interesting to see because I figure he's probably going to lie about what he does for a living.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to buy it.
No.
In fact, they may even think he's a police officer, even though he's a probation officer. But I think they'll think he's like a cop or something.
Yeah.
And no one wants to deal with Tony 2.0. So if they're smart, they'll get rid of him early.
Right.
So.
Well, and Sarah just winning also doesn't help him any.
Well, this was technically filmed before we knew Sarah won.
I take that back.
It's still, I mean, Tony's win is still fresh on everyone's mind, though.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they watched Cagayan and Sequester anyway, so.
Okay.
But, all right. So we have similar feelings on Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about someone who I'm really unsure about, Will.
Okay.
I'm talking about Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
So she seems like a really sweet girl, and I think people are going to like her.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure how she's going to be as a player. What do you think? Maybe I'll develop a opinion after I hear what you think.
So the first thing I wrote down was Homie G, calm down. Because she's the one who was like, I want us to be miserable. I want there to be storms, and I want to starve, and I want my tribe to suffer. And I was like, hold the phone. But like, it's because she wants a lot out of this experience, and I think that's really cool. I drew a heart next to her name because I love her, and I think right now she's my winner pick.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that I was the most excited watching her cast assessment. Her cast interview was the longest of everyone's. It was over 2 minutes long. I think she's very self-aware. She talks a lot about how like she knows how she wants to play the game, but she also knows that she talks too much. And so she needs to like not talk a lot if she wants to go far. And I think as long as she remembers that, she's going to go far. Because I think she's super likable, and I think she's super smart, and I think she understands the game. And so I have really high hopes for Jessica. I'm really excited about her.
Interesting. I'm just not seeing it well. I don't know. I feel like she seems like someone who's like second or third in someone's plans, you know?
Okay.
Like I feel like she's more of a follower than a leader.
Okay.
And I feel like she'll just be a victim of being on either the wrong side of the numbers at some point or, you know, at some point it'll just be time to vote her off. I think she'll make the merge, but I just, I'm just not sure how I feel.
I see her being a winner. Like I see her playing a similar game to Michelle, where she is the most likable person, and even if she's on the wrong side of the numbers didn't pull her. You know what I mean? Like I feel like she's someone who is going to adapt really quickly in the game. And I think just from like the whispers that Jeff has been putting out about how like up in the air this season is going to be all the way into Final Tribal, I feel like Jessica is a really strong contender to be someone who is at the end putting up a really good fight. Even if she's someone who like it looks like she's been dragged to the end, I feel like she's someone who could sit in Final Tribal and put up a really good fight to win.
Okay. I just don't see it.
That's
But
all right.
well,
We'll see. Well, she might be like the second boot. Who knows? But
that's another thing. Uh, she's a very built girl,
yeah,
probably the most built girl out here.
yeah.
I mean, she does CrossFit, all that stuff. So, are the men on her tribe going to be threatened by her? I don't know. We'll
I don't know.
see. Um, I don't know. It'll just depend. Uh, it'll depend on how the first couple of immunity challenges go.
Yeah, I don't
I
see anyone on this healer's tribe getting along very well, if we're being honest. I think you have 6 very different personalities on this tribe.
really
Yeah,
see. I saw them as the tribe that would mesh the best.
really. I
Yeah.
just think they're too different. I think aside from their like healer part, I think they're all like they're too different. Because like you have someone who looks pretty manipulative. You have someone who could be a lot. You have someone who is very nerd. You have someone who is very quirky, and then you have like Desi and Cole, who I think would vibe really well together. But aside from that, I think the other 4 are just so different. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to watch, like watch them struggle through the healer aspect of their personalities.
I guess everyone just seemed very chill to me from this
Yeah,
tribe.
and I think that's their healer thing. They're used to giving and like being in the background. Do you know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
think their interests are just so different that it's going to be interesting to watch them try and work together.
All right. Um, so you want to move on to Mike.
Mike.
How did you feel about Mike, Will?
So I actually am like very hot and cold on Mike. So when I watched the full cast assessment video, all I wrote was no. I just wrote no. But then when I watched his individual cast interview, I really liked him, and so I'm very confused. Like I'm in this weird in between with Mike where I'm really not excited to watch him play the game, but I'm also really excited to watch him as a character.
Yeah, I wrote down that he's sort of like a funny old guy trope that we've seen. Sort of like, I don't know, like Penner maybe.
Okay.
That kind of personality.
Yeah,
Um, I'm not sure. I feel like he has some game in him.
I do too.
I like he just has to get with the right people.
Yeah, I'm
And
worried he won't.
I'm not sure who from this tribe he aligns with. Um,
I don't
I
think they.
mean,
You know what I
is
mean?
he like second to Joe? Because I just don't see him letting. I mean, I don't see him letting Joe boss him around. You
Yeah, I don't
know,
see him and Joe vibing. That's what I'm saying. I don't think any of these people on paper appear as though they will strategically link up for a long time. Like none of the 6 of them look like they're going to buckle down together to go
and
deep.
it could be that they never lose and they don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah, we'll
That
see.
could also be a thing.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think he's got some game in him. I'm just not. I don't know. He reminds me very much so of David, like 2 Davids. David from Millennials versus Gen X, but also David from Kagayan.
Yeah, I see that.
2 very different people. One was a first boot, and one almost won.
Oh,
He
for
reminds
some
me.
reason, I was thinking of the David from Redemption Island.
No.
Okay. The first boot.
Yeah,
I forgot he even existed, but yes. Um, I see what you're talking
yeah.
about.
I don't know. Like
Um,
I like him, but like initial vibe was, mm-mm, which I hate because that could also be like the initial vibe the tribe gets from him. You know what I mean? I think of all of the people on this tribe, if he doesn't vibe with the men well enough, he's the first person to go out of the 6 of them.
I feel like he's gonna really play up that like funny old man.
Right, but we've seen that go very wrong.
And what like who?
So like Philip played up the funny old man.
Well, I didn't think Philip was funny.
Right, but Philip thought he was funny.
No, I'm saying like I could see him trying to be like Pinner.
Okay. I mean, I can see that. I don't know. I feel like we've seen the being the funny old man thing go two very different directions. And so I don't know if it's a viable strategy for him. I think it's his personality and that's going to be what it is, but it's like I don't know. I don't see Joe getting that at all. At all. Um maybe the rest of them will. I don't know.
I think they're going to go on an immunity streak.
I get that vibe too.
And I think maybe the swap happens
Yeah.
and Desi and Joe get voted out, like we've sort of speculated.
Mhm.
But in that case, Mike still makes the merge.
Right. Well,
So
that's the vibe I'm getting too. I don't know. I don't know how much that like I don't know how long that shtick can keep him around.
I don't know. I feel like he would work well with someone like Chrissy.
I think he would too, but I think they'd butt heads too often.
Maybe. I could see it happening though. I could see
I
them
see
working
this
well.
like I'm gonna be honest. I see this whole cast butting heads too much. Like I just genuinely do. I don't like. I think that we have a cast of people who are gonna play for themselves, which is really interesting. Like there are a few people who are followers that we've talked about a little bit, but I think for the most part, the people who are going to be predominant characters all seem to be people who are going to want to be in charge. And they all have talked about playing really slow at the beginning and then turning it up throughout the game, all of them. And so like I'm like how is everyone going to turn it up at the same time? Do you know what I mean? Things are just going to explode and I'm really excited about it to be honest, but it's just like hard to figure out who's going to work with who because I don't think anyone's going to work with anyone. I think they're all just going to be out for themselves.
I mean, this could be like a millennials versus Gen X where it's like
Mhm.
no one is safe,
Yeah, I
like,
hope it is because those seasons are exciting.
yeah. I mean, that season, it's like every tribal council is someone is getting blindsided.
Yeah,
So I think that is the case.
yeah,
Okay. So we're sort of mixed feelings on Mike. We sort of
mhm.
have to see more of him before
Yeah,
we really know how we feel.
yeah,
Um, so let's talk about the last
yeah,
healer. You want to talk about Rourke?
yeah. I really like Rourke. I didn't like her in the full cast assessment video, much like Mike. I really didn't like her, and then I watched her solo video, and I really like her a lot. I think she's too quirky and too analytical, um, which makes her slim. Like it makes her slim pickings. Like she's gonna struggle to get through pre-merge. I think if she doesn't forget herself a little bit. Um, but I think that she's really smart. Like she made this comparison to how when you boil a frog, you put it in cold water and then slowly turn up the heat so that it doesn't know it's dying. And I thought that was just like genius. And that's how she wants to play the game. And I think that's really incredible. I just hope she makes it long enough. But she also talked about how she's a really bossy person. And like she knows she's really bossy, but she's a really bossy person. And that's always a red flag for me. Because like you can only hide so much while you're out there for 39 days. And so I'm worried about that on top of who she is as a person rubbing people the wrong way, which makes me sad because I really like her. I
She
just,
also said she has a tendency to correct people,
yeah,
which could not go over well.
right. So the healers have to go on an immunity streak or she's not going to make it to the merge. But I think if she makes it to the merge, as long as she solidifies herself into a group, I think she's fine. I don't know that she'll win, but I think she's smart and I think she definitely could win. But I think she's probably middle of the merge. Like she's like the Sunday boot.
I liked in her. Well, I'd give her more credit than that, but
Okay, well, but I mean like that. I think she's that number. Like I think that's around the time she goes out. Like day 30, day 32, maybe day 20.
I I liked in her bio. She said she's the love child of Sophie Clark and Courtney Yates,
Hmm.
which I like. I think
I think that's really cool.
uh, I picked up on that from her because
Yeah.
I mean her bio was the funniest out of anybody.
Mhm.
I mean she had a Mean Girls quote, which is bonus points in my book, Rourke,
Same.
if you're listening.
Same.
Um, and I don't know. I really hope she doesn't play too hard too fast.
Me too.
That's my fear with Rourke. I I do see the healers never really losing that much, so I
Yeah.
think she's in a good position for the merge.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it could go two ways. She could be like an Aubrey type
Yeah.
and go like all the way,
I got those vibes.
or she could be like an RC and be like, like no one likes her,
Yeah.
and so she is the first person out at the merge or something,
Yeah.
So I think it'll go two ways with her. So
Yeah.
um,
I really like her, but I'm worried about her.
yeah, she's gonna have to really. I mean, she says, "Oh, bossy should be a positive word," and I'm just
But
like,
like it's not. So you gotta get rid of it.
I mean, you can think that like in your outside life, but this is
Right.
Survivor.
In
Like,
Survivor, it's a bad thing.
you never need to give someone a reason to vote you off.
Right. Boil the frog.
And there's someone that we haven't talked about yet that really has that problem, but she's really going to have to just remember where she is.
Yeah.
And that it's a game, and just because you do something in real life doesn't mean you should do it for the game. Like you're supposed to, get people to like you, And so I don't know, bossing people around, correcting people, that's not a good way to get people on your side. So she's gonna have to tone that down. But like I said, two ways. She's gonna be the RC or the Aubrey of the season. That's how I feel. So any other thoughts on Rourke? I did like her, by the way.
Yeah, I like her. I'm good.
And she was a super fan. So, and she has an interesting backstory talking about being a social worker and, dealing with those tough situations in the public school system. So, hey, that takes a lot from a person. So she's got some strong like mental fortitude. So I think she can deal with the stress of the game if she can deal with that.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to move on to the final tribe, Will?
No thanks.
Hard pass.
Hard pass.
The Hustlers. And Will, I'm going to go ahead and say now, I could be totally wrong, but I do not think I am. It happens every time there's a season with 3 tribes. There is one tribe that is the disaster tribe.
Yes.
The Hustlers are the disaster tribe.
Yes. Can we save one person and then just send the other 5 home?
I liked 2 people, but yes, I see what you mean.
I liked. Okay, yeah, no, I like 2 people. We can send the other 4 home though. I hope that we agree on the 2.
I think this is the disaster tribe, though.
Yes.
I really think this is like the Luzon and the what's the other one? What's the Braun tribe from Ko Rong?
Oh, Chanlo?
Yeah, Totang. That's what it is. It's Totang, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, Chanlo is the blue tribe.
Yeah. It's the Braun tribe from Ko Rong. It's Luzon. It's
Matt Singh.
Yeah, Matt Singh. Yeah. Because if you notice, every 3 tribe season, there's a disaster tribe.
Always a disaster tribe.
History repeats itself. I think we are going to lose at the minimum 3 people from this tribe.
Yeah.
In the
pre-merge. At least 3, maybe 4 people pre-merge.
Probably 4. Definitely 3. And that's not even how I feel about them as people. This is a weak tribe, in my opinion, in comparison to the other 2.
They have like 3 people who could do well in challenges.
Like, Kat, I mean, putting people on this tribe, they did not do well, sort of trying to make things even.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but they're hustlers, so who knows? I don't have.
I think they're going to do the majority of the losing.
Yeah. I think what makes me the most sad is that I think we're going to lose 3, maybe 4 of these people pre-merge, and I think the only 2 people on this tribe I like are going to be 2 of those people.
We'll see. But let's just get right into it. We'll start with, let's see, I guess we're going alphabetical. We'll start with Allie. And I don't know how you feel, but Allie was my favorite from this tribe.
Same. She's my favorite.
And Allie, dare I say, may have a shot to win.
The thing that I wrote was that she has the best chance to go far and succeed. Like, out of the 6 people on this tribe, she's the person who I think has the best chance at winning.
I'm calling it now. To me, it's between, I guess, Chrissy and Allie for who my pick is to win.
Okay.
And I'm leaning towards Allie a little more because I think Chrissy has some more stuff stacked against her.
Yeah.
Because she's got to get to the merge first. I'm not even sure if she will.
Well, see, I'm worried that Allie is going to be one of the 4 people from this tribe who goes home.
And see, I don't think she is.
Okay. I think that she's an easy boot pre-merge. I think that she's too not intimidating in the sense that she's like built, but I think she's too likable. And I think she's going to give off the vibe that she's good at this game. Even though she may not know she's good at the game, I think she's going to give off that vibe, and I think they're going to want her gone.
And, well, I loved what she said more than anything anyone said. Mm-hmm. She said she wants to play an even ground physically and socially, because if you do too much, you go home.
Yeah.
And to me, that is the best mentality to have. Because I think some people go on here and they're like, I'm going to be the biggest strategist we've ever seen. I'm going to win all the challenges. I'm going to beat Ozzy's record, all this stuff. Yeah. And I'm just like, you're going to go home.
Yeah. I really like her. Like,
she's playing to win.
Right.
And
I think she has a really good chance at doing it. I just hope that they don't get in her way.
Well, look at Denise. She came from the disaster tribe and won.
She did come from the disaster tribe. And Allie has those skill sets. Like, Allie could totally integrate herself into a swap tribe.
And Denise was kind of that middle ground person.
She was.
So there's a lot of similarities between Allie and Denise, honestly, I think.
That would be fantastic. She's definitely in my top 3. I have 3 people who I am like, if I had to put money on people, I would be putting my money on Chrissy, Jessica, and Allie.
I'm sort of, I see that. I guess,
I don't think that will be the final 3. I'm not saying that at all. I just think one of the 3 of them is going to win.
Yeah.
I don't think a man is winning this season.
I'm with you there. I think it's going to be a woman. Mm-hmm. Just because I think the girls seem a little more headstrong.
Yeah.
Most of them. But yeah, Allie just really, she was the one who impressed me the most in her video, and I'm not sure, I mean, I don't know, personal assistant in Hollywood, it screams recruit, but I don't know.
She understands the game. She's Glozelle's personal assistant.
Yeah, and I love Glozelle, but I just, it's amazing to me because to me it seems like she probably was recruited to be on the show.
I don't know that she was.
I don't know. I don't know if she didn't say she was a fan, like super fan or anything. But
I mean, she might just be good at the game. Maybe she's just born with it.
Yeah, but I think it's good that she is having that like even ground mentality. So, yeah, Allie and Chrissy are probably my 2 to win. Not sure how I feel about healers winning.
See, I think of the 3 tribes, I would almost say that I foresee a healer winning more than the other 2.
I don't know.
It's just a weird vibe. But I'm happy that we're at least rooting for the same people. Like
Yeah.
we got the same vibe. We're like on the same page in terms of like these are the people we're gonna cheer on this season. Which
Oh
just means
yeah.
that if any of them ever get voted out, that recap episode is gonna be tragic.
Allie's the first boot. She
We're not
was
gonna.
featured in the promotion, so
Maybe she's the one. Maybe she's the one person.
well, you know how they said like in the intro they never put the winner first, but then they put Adam first.
Yes.
So
Who
I don't
knows?
know.
I just. She can't be the first boot. If she's the first boot, can we agree that we're not going to talk about Survivor anymore for this season?
Well,
Listen, we're not. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But like, I'm going to be devastated if she
we
goes
still
home.
have Chrissy for at least one more episode.
What? Okay, first three boots: Allie, Chrissy, and Jessica. Then can we quit?
So we're not the
Or
best
like,
prognosticators. That's okay.
maybe we should stick in until Rourke goes home, and then we can quit.
I mean, I like most of these people, but
Yeah, no, same. I'm just
I'm
gonna be really hurt if they send home our favorites first.
I'm just saying if I'm picking who's gonna win, I'm looking at Chrissy and Allie
Yeah.
because they just impressed me the most out of anybody. But all right, I guess we've talked about Allie enough. We should probably talk about someone
Devin?
else for the Healers tribe. Yeah, you want to talk about Devin?
Yeah, so I have two things written next to his name. The first one of those things is blah. The second one of those things is throwaway.
So I gotta be honest. I feel like this whole surfer bro dude on Survivor and then on reality TV in general is just so tired.
It's gotta stop.
I don't know about you, but I never really, I mean, I guess there's just a casting agent that just walks down beaches in California
Hey,
just
you,
looking.
be on my show.
Yeah. Hey, you want to be on Survivor? What's that, bro? I'll never make that impersonation again.
Please don't.
Um, I'm just sort of over this archetype
Yes.
that they cast.
Yeah, I hate it. He seems like such a nice guy, but like,
I'm not saying he's
right.
I think he's a nice guy, but it's
He's
just
the throwaway cast.
he has no shot at winning.
No, like you can't tell. Like I fully believe that what happened was they had 17 people, and they were like, "Hey, we don't have a surfer dude. Him."
Yeah, because I'm not sure how a surfing instructor is Hustler.
Hustler. Mm-mm. I don't know. Maybe we'll really like him. I watched his cast video, and like my impression was, you are a throwaway vote. Like
I think they wanted him to be like the Aussie.
It's not gonna happen. He's just gonna go home. Do you know what I mean? Like he's gonna be one of those episodes where there's not a lot going on, and he just leaves.
I mean, if they really are the disaster tribe, part of their mistake could be voting out Devin like first. You know, and because maybe I mean, I don't know why I'm thinking this, but for some reason I could see Devin like going to look for an idol and people catching him. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but I could just see it happen.
Yeah, I can see a Devin and Simone battle happening very early on, and Devin losing it first.
Yeah.
I don't think he makes the merge. I really don't. I think he goes home pre-merge, and I think it's in a boring episode.
Yeah, I think two people from this tribe are making the merge, and he's not one of them.
No.
I think they are. I think they're sort of like Luzon, the Brains tribe from Brains versus Brawn, versus Beauty. I think. I mean, they voted out Garrett. You know.
Yeah. I agree. I think what I imagine happening is that it is Devin and Patrick versus the other four. Devin and Patrick go home, and then the four of them send Simone home, and then maybe Ryan, Allie, and Lauren all make the merge. if they're lucky.
No. um, but I think we'll talk about them when we get
Yeah.
to them. But yeah, I could see Devin going the way of like a Garrett. I
Yeah.
could see him being like really cocky, like thinks he's got it all in the bag,
Mhm.
and then it's Sayonara Devin.
Yeah.
I think first off, I think Allie's going to be running that tribe. Probably not.
Okay.
I think she's going to be. She might let Simone think she's running
Okay.
it,
I was about to say I don't. But yeah, no, I agree with that.
but you know, Allie. I mean, Allie's got her strategy of
Okay.
like even ground. I think she's
I
going to
am
let. I think she's going to let Simone do her dirty work and then cut her.
okay.
You know.
I am worried that she is going to instead link up with Devin and Patrick. Like I am afraid that it's gonna go cool kids, not cool kids. And that the not cool kids are gonna win. That is what I'm worried about. The not cool kids, I say. Like I am a not cool kid, so it's fine if I say that, right? Like I feel like it has the potential to be Allie, Devin, Patrick, and Simone, Ryan, Lauren, with Ryan, Simone, and Lauren winning. That just like I'm worried about it, which is why I'm worried about Allie going pre-merge.
And you know, I didn't even think about this, but I'll go ahead and say it. You know, if they lose the first challenge, the super idol gets sent to their beach. And who are you going to send it to? Probably like Skinny Ryan. And he plays it, Devin goes home first.
Or Allie goes home. That's what I'm worried about.
I think Ryan would send home Devin over Allie.
But if they want to win challenges,
he could send home Patrick. Who knows? We haven't talked about Patrick yet, but
they
I
need
didn't have
Patrick
good.
though. We'll get to him. Who are we on right now? Devin, you want to move on?
Yeah.
We kind of stopped talking about him a while ago because there wasn't a whole lot to say.
Well, I mean, I feel like with this disaster tribe, you sort of talk about all of them in unison.
Yeah, but we can talk about Lauren now. Let's talk about Lauren.
Let's move on to Lauren. Yeah. So she's another one.
Like her.
I liked her. I did. She actually has the most clicks on her video out of anybody, which is interesting.
Okay.
She's also Sunbirds.
Yeah, she is in the Sunburn
Alliance. But just I think it's just a case of, I think she belonged on the Hustlers, but the people she was put with, she's not going to mesh with them at all.
No.
I think this is like a Nina on the no collar situation.
Okay.
I really do.
Much like with Chrissy, though, I think if she plays up the mom card, she immediately gets Allie. And I think she gets Patrick.
Why, I looked at what she said. In her thing, she says she's hard-headed, she's set in her ways, and she's very stubborn.
Okay.
And to me, that kind of person is not going to mesh with these people.
Right. See, but I also got the vibe that, like, I think she's really smart, and I think that she's a fan of the game, and I think she's going to know better. You know what I mean? Like, I think she's going to know to turn that off.
I don't know.
I have high hopes for her. Like, I genuinely think that she's the second person from this tribe that goes to the merge.
I get very Nina vibes.
I get very Dana vibes.
I think she's going to be like one of the first 3 people gone.
Okay. I mean, I could see that, but I hope she isn't. I get Dana vibes from her.
I think if they're all vote, like if it's young versus old and all those young people just unite and vote her off, she might be the first person voted off.
I mean, that's possible, but I really don't want that for her.
I don't know. I think she seems like second or third to me.
Okay.
I really do. I think she's second.
See that. I did write next to her that she's an easy boot.
Because I just don't think she's gonna get along with those people. Like they seem like, I mean, Lauren is like someone who I could see like, really wanting, people to go get firewood and collect water and all this stuff.
She's
and
a very honest hustler.
I could see Devin just be like, she just needs to chill.
I get that vibe. She is a very I think she's an honest hustler. Like she's a blue collar hustler, whereas a lot of these other people are just like hustlers.
Yeah, So I think Lauren's in trouble.
Okay.
I really do. I think she belonged on that tribe, but she didn't belong with those people.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
I have high hopes, but we'll see. I don't think
I
she's gonna
could,
win.
I
But
could be wrong. I mean, she could be the brains of the operation. Who
maybe.
knows? But
I don't know. I do like I understand what you're saying though. Like I do get that vibe. I don't think she's gonna win by any means, and she could very easily be an early merge boot or not merge boot, an early pre-merge boot. But like I want her to make it to the merge.
if they're losing like I think they will,
Yeah,
and I think they're going to lose
a lot.
3 out of 4.
Yeah,
I really do. She's not going to survive all 3 of those.
yeah, no. I guess it does depend. But like if I have to pick 2 people from this tribe to save, she's my second person.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you there.
Like if we have
I mean,
to cut
I
4,
loved her. I thought she was really
yeah.
fun.
Like if we have to cut 4 of these people, she's not one of those 4 for me. But
all right, are you ready to move on?
Patrick?
To Patrick. Now, I got to be honest. This was the only person where I was just really bored.
Okay. Yeah.
I just found, I mean, other than him chasing around the crab,
Yeah.
I just found him kind of boring.
Okay. I wrote that he's too cocky.
Yeah, he does sort of seem like he's got it all figured out.
And it's not that he says anything in his interview that makes him sound cocky. It's just he looks arrogant. Much like Joe looked like a manipulator, Patrick just looks like an arrogant person. Maybe he isn't, but I think that's just like the vibe he gives off.
And he's the leader of the Sunburn Alliance.
He is the leader of the Sunburn Alliance.
His was the worst.
I was very confused as to what he was trying to talk about when he was like, I've got to protect my skin. But like, Homeslice, how? You don't get sunscreen. Like you live in the sun. You can get in the trees all you want, but like what you wear long sleeves and long pants the whole time, like you're gonna get sunburned.
But were you just like bored listening to him talk?
I definitely
really didn't
skimmed through most of his interview.
I didn't think he said anything of substance.
No. I think he'll put in the work. Like, I don't know what it was that he said in the video that made me write this down, but I wrote down I think he will put in work to stay. Like I think he will fight to win, but I don't think he's going to. Like I think he goes pre-merge. But I think he'll try. Of all of the people, I think he will try the hardest to stay. But I think he will be severely unsuccessful.
So for the disaster tribe, you probably won't like me saying this because I know you like Lauren. Yeah. But I think he and Allie are going to be the ones that survive the disaster that is the Hustlers tribe.
Okay. I mean, I could see that happening, but I don't think he makes it to the merge. I just don't see him making the merge. I really don't.
Well, I see him making the merge, but it's not because of anything he does. It's because he's actually not good.
Because Allie's keeping him around. No, listen, no. Who are we kidding? We both know that Ryan is not going pre-merge. Survivor is not letting Ryan go pre-merge.
I know.
I mean, I'd be okay with it. I'd be fine with him going pre-merge.
If they lose as much as I think they're going to, there's not a lot of room for him to hide.
I mean, I would be okay with Patrick making the merge because then he would be the merge boot.
And Patrick is someone I can see getting an invisible edit.
Okay. See, I see him getting the Nick edit.
And Nick was sort of invisible to me, so.
Well, yeah, I guess up until like the very end of his time there.
Yeah. I mean, Patrick would probably be relevant for like his boot episode, but other than that,
I think Patrick will be really relevant in the first episode.
Maybe.
I think Patrick will. I agree that I think Patrick will be at the forefront of the Hustlers tribe, but that he will be bad at the game. But I foresee him thinking he's in charge, and that's why I think he'll be at the forefront of the premiere episode. But then he will disappear.
I think Devin's the one who's going to think he's in charge.
Okay. See, I see Devin getting an invisible edit.
So we're in reverse of who we think is
but at least we both agree that neither of them are going to win and they can both go.
Yeah. I mean, really, any combination of these people could go home
Minus
early
Allie.
from the. Well, technically, Allie could go home.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
think that's
I'm
gonna
really
happen.
worried about it. But I agree, this is the disaster tribe, and they are going to lose a lot. So I'm
I
not going to
really
be
think.
attached to any of them
I
except
think
for
Allie is the Denise. I
Allie.
really do.
So, but like, who's Malcolm then? Someone's got to
I don't know.
survive with her. And
I
is
think.
it Patrick?
I think it's Patrick. Honestly.
I think it's Ryan.
Well, see, I'm not that upset about that.
I don't. I'm not like rooting for Ryan, but I think Allie is going to click more with Ryan. And if we're going to put all our money on Allie being Denise, I think Allie would rather go to the merge with Ryan than with Patrick.
Yeah.
Because she and Ryan together would be a really invisible duo. Do you know what I mean? Like no one would see them as a threat. Whereas if she were with Patrick, people would be afraid of the two of them, and she would go home first because he would be more likely to win immunity. And I think she knows that. So I think she would rather go with someone like Ryan or Lauren.
And I think Ryan is sort of a less. Let's just go ahead and talk
Yeah, we
about
can have
Ryan.
Ryan.
I think Ryan is a little bit of like a less socially awkward Cochrane.
Okay,
What do
I
you
wrote
say?
down that he was too Cochrane.
So I feel like the Cochrane was just a little too awkward. Where I think
Okay,
Ryan's sort of. I think like I could
he's if
like
Cochrane
sit
were a
down.
hustler.
I feel like I could sit down and have a conversation with Ryan and not
Yeah.
feel
Okay,
awkward.
I think he's too sticky.
Well, I will say the nerd archetype has really gotten
Yeah,
tired, in my opinion.
and like the
Um,
turtleneck, it's too much. It's too sticky.
and I don't know about you, but I mean, nerds may be at a disadvantage after, with the success of Cochrane on
Hmm.
and Aubrey win, but technically she's in that group. And then also,
You
I mean, you
froze.
look at what happened to, what'd you say?
You froze for a long time.
What'd you say?
You froze.
Unfrozen?
No, you're lagging now on my screen. It's catching back
Am I
up.
unfrozen?
Yeah, but it's
Hello?
still lagging.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I can hear you. Your picture isn't moving at the same time. It should fix
Oh,
itself though. I think
well,
it'll fix.
it'll be fine. Anyway, did you hear what I said at all?
Not really.
Okay, so like the nerd archetype is sort of getting tired. Like we've had a couple of nerds win on Survivor. We've had a couple of nerds win on Big Brother, and then it happened on Big Brother this past season. The nerd's the first person out. So I'm just like, is that gonna run back over to Survivor? Are
Okay.
players gonna have that same mentality that we got to get this nerd out early or he's gonna win the whole thing?
Okay. I mean, I honestly, I would be okay with that. I'm not super excited to watch him. Like, I'm not super excited to watch Ryan play. I think he's another person who's kind of been shoved down our throats, much like Desi. So, like, I don't think he's gonna win. But I don't know. I don't. I'm
I
very
think
hot
he's
or
going to
cold on
be a
him.
big. I think he's going to be a big character, not
Yeah,
necessarily someone who's going to win.
yeah. I think he will probably be someone who defines the pre-merge. But I see him disappearing once we get to the merge because he's not going to win, and they're not going to waste time on him in the merge. They can't. I think he's a pre-merge. Like he's either pre-merge, like middle of the pre-merge, or he's the middle of the jury.
I can see that. I support that. I don't think he's going to win. Like I said, I think the nerds have been too overexposed.
Yeah.
I think everyone else is like, we can't let the
Right.
nerds win.
Right.
And I'm a nerd, so I feel their pain,
Right.
but at the same time, it's sort of hard to you know, debate. You're just like, well, they do have a good track record. So,
Yeah, they
um,
do.
so I don't think, I don't know. Is he going to be a fun character? Probably. Is he going to win? I'm still unsure if he's the one that makes the merge or if it's Patrick. I'm still unsure about
I'm
that.
okay with that. I'm happy to have it also. I can see that.
Because I
All
just
of this
feel
is, I mean, all of this
what
is banking on Allie. All of this is banking on Allie being in charge. You know what I mean? Like, we're saying all of this assuming that Allie is not going to go home.
yeah, we're putting a lot of eggs in Allie's basket, but I don't know. She
I'm
just
okay with
really
that. I don't think she's going to be cutthroat enough, which is what makes me really nervous.
she really impressed me with her video.
Me
And we
too.
can't base everything off a video, but
Right.
I feel like there's so much you can base it on,
Yeah.
you know?
You get a good feel of their personality.
Yeah.
Speaking of
And
getting a good feeling of someone's personality from a video, shall we talk about Simone?
is Simone our last person to talk about?
Indeed.
Okay, so Simone screams early boot.
Yes. Correct.
I want to read you what she said in her video because I'm assuming you picked up on it, and that's why we kind of
Mhm.
feel the same.
She said two words that immediately made me write her off. And those two words were constructive
Confrontation.
negative, madam.
Yeah. So, and she also said she has a hard time hiding her feelings, which is also not good. Um, I wrote that she seems really in over her head.
Yeah.
Um,
Too blunt. She's too gamey. She's too sticky.
I question if she's seen the show before. I believe she was told the premise of the show, and so
Yes.
she thinks she's just going to be the huge villain type player. Um,
Yes. I think that she thinks she is going to be the mastermind. And I agree. I didn't think about that, but I agree. I don't think she's watched the show. I think she was told the premise of the show, which would explain why her cast interview videos seemed so scripted.
yeah. Um, she she I don't know. She just screams early boot to me. I could see her
Yeah.
pissing off a lot of people.
I think that
Uh,
she's gonna be a really good character. I think she's really game savvy. Like I think that she's someone who could be really good at the game, but she's not. Like she's gonna go home because she's gonna play too hard.
I think this is a girl, yeah, like you said, gonna play too hard too fast. I think
Mhm.
I think that's her.
I could see her and Ryan being a tight pair. I think if we break the tribe into twos, it's Simone and Ryan, Devin and Allie, Lauren and Patrick.
I don't know. I think she's gonna be too toxic.
Well, I mean, I agree. I think everyone will turn on her. I don't think she's the first person to go home from the tribe, though. I agree with what you
Yeah.
said earlier. I think that there is a very strong potential for her and Allie to work together and for Simone to be in charge and then everyone to turn on her and cut her.
Yeah, because if this tribe is gonna go to tribal council at least 3 times
Yeah.
before a swap, which is
She's
my
not getting them out
prediction,
alive. Yeah.
which is my prediction, uh, Simone is gonna be one of those
Yeah.
three.
Yeah.
Um, playing way too hard, too fast. Sort of, it reminds me of Shireen in Cambodia.
I got that vibe too. I also got a little bit of So Kim vibe, but like So knew what she was doing. You know what I mean? Like Simone is So, if So didn't really understand what was happening in Survivor.
Yeah, I don't think. And let's talk about if Simone was put on the right tribe,
Okay.
because
What is the
I
right tribe for her though?
so here's my thing. So I talked about how Chrissy should have been switched with someone, and
Okay.
this is who I think she should have been switched with, because
Okay.
Simone is a diversity advocate,
Right.
and so I'm assuming that means that she uh, is advocating for minorities to be um, in different, allowed access to different areas, such as
Yeah.
the business world and thing,
Yeah.
places where they may have had the door closed on them before.
Okay.
So I think to those people, Simone is a hero for what she's doing.
That makes sense. She still goes home early.
I'm not talking about that, Will. I'm telling you, I think she was put on the wrong tribe.
Okay.
But
I don't disagree. I'm just saying that it doesn't help her. Like, it doesn't matter what tribe she's on. She's still going home pre-merge.
But maybe I don't know, if she had been told she was a hero, we have had a different mentality, because I feel like Hustler almost has, Hustler has a different connotation than hero.
That's true.
I really think, and I don't know her anything, but I really think she was recruited and was told the premise of the show.
Yeah.
And just is trying to have a persona. Because I don't know, something about her, I don't know if you picked up on it at all, but something about her just seemed, I really don't feel like I really was open to who she actually is.
Yeah, I didn't buy it. It was too off. Just like everything about it was too off. I agree. I don't buy it. But again, how do you fake that for 39 days? So
I don't know. I really don't feel like she let us sort of into her life, because I really don't feel like we knew anything about her.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's very much a wall.
Yeah, I don't know. She screams recruit. She screams early boot to me. I think she's gonna think she's running the show, but that's gonna bite her in the butt.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So, I don't think she's gonna go as far as people want her to.
I don't know if you saw this, which Jeff Probst is not the is not the sort of, he's not the most accurate prognosticator by any means. Ciara Easton did not win Game Changers, so
definitely not.
That should be all the evidence.
If I were Jeff Probst, after that, I would just stop saying who I think is going to win.
But you know who he said? Well, first off, he said a lot of people had a chance to win. He thought,
and I agree. Not wrong.
But then he said, but Simone was the only person that he name dropped. And I was a little confused by that, because to me, Simone is someone who I think Jeff Probst would sort of recognize
is bad.
Is someone that is in over their head.
Okay. Well, but I think a lot of that is what we just talked about, right? Her cast interview seemed like a front. And so maybe since he knows her as a person, he's seeing something that we're not. And we're seeing who she wants to be on the show, and he's seeing who she is as a person. And maybe if she weren't trying to be a character, she could win.
And that's a good thing that you brought up. A lot of these interviews, people come across one way, and then when you watch the show, it's like a totally different person.
Yeah.
Not always.
Yeah.
But there's some instances of that. I mean, I remember, I think it was Kat from One World. I really liked Kat in the preseason. Did not like Kat once the show started.
I think it's this.
I thought I was going to like Colton of all people.
Okay.
Preseason of One World. I don't know why I'm talking about One World, but those just stick out in my mind because I really didn't like them once the show started.
I think that's cool. You paint your own narrative in confessionals and interviews. Like, you can be as analytical and logical as you want in those confessionals and in the interviews that you have pre-show. However, that does not mean that that's actually what is happening in the game around you. Like, confessionals are very that person's perspective of the game, whereas what we see on the show is like the whole picture of what's happening in the game. And so I think I agree. Like I think pre-season one World, I really liked Kat too because Kat had a lot of game knowledge and really understood the game, but she was in over her head, and the game like swallowed her whole, and she couldn't play it. You know what I mean? Like she couldn't stay on top of it. She couldn't use the information she had. And it's possible that Simone
And
is something like that.
I thought, going back to One World, don't know what, again, why I'm talking about it. I thought Kim was gonna be invisible.
Mhm.
So
I mean, Kim was, to be fair, Kim was kind of invisible in the edit in terms of like characters.
I don't think she was invisible.
Not invisible, but like she wasn't super prevalent pre-merge.
I thought she was super boring in her preseason.
Yeah.
And then she totally surprised me. So that just goes to show, take everything that we've said with a grain of salt, because
Right.
we really don't know anything until
We're seeing all the fairy magic that's being thrown at
we're
us by
seeing
CBS.
them. I mean, they haven't even, like, they're still like well fed. They
Yeah.
still have reliable access to water.
Right. It's very
The elements have not settled in.
Mhm.
They don't even know who they're on a tribe with yet.
Right.
So I mean, like Desi, she's thinking she's going to flirt with all these guys. Well, there's only one person to flirt with on her tribe, you know. So, and she just doesn't know that yet. So tough. I mean, it's tough to sort of make any presumptions, but we're sort of reading the tea leaves based on our knowledge of what has happened in the past.
Yes.
But so that's, I guess, did we talked about everyone, right?
Yeah, that's the whole cast.
That's the whole cast. So
You want to jump into like our thoughts about like the twists and all?
Yeah, let's talk about that, and then we'll wrap it up. So as we sort of alluded to, Jeff Probst revealed that there is a super idol that is only good for the first tribal council. So basically, they're going to do that whole thing where they're out on the boat. He tells them they got to get as much supplies as they can. And that's when it's all like really chaotic. And there's going to be, it's like last season, there's going to be something on the floor, and someone is going to be lucky enough to notice it. And he did say that someone did notice it, so that's good. There's no Michaelas or anything, so but someone did notice it. We don't know who. Obviously, they wouldn't reveal who yet, but it's basically only good for the first tribal council, and if your tribe wins immunity, you have to write down who you want to give it to on the losing tribe, and it gets put in that person's bag. So there's a lot of ways to go about this. Am I crazy about the Super Idol being back in Survivor? Not really. But is it okay in small doses? Maybe. We'll have to see.
Right, like they're limiting it to the first tribal council. So it's not like Tyler Perry's Super Idol or anything. Like it's not going to screw up the game later.
Yeah. So I mean, right off the bat, we could have a very interesting first tribal council wheel, depending on who gets the Super Idol, because someone is going to get it.
Yeah.
But are they going to be the person who's vulnerable? We don't know.
Right.
Which is why I think someone like, I mean, we're saying like someone like Katrina or Ryan or Lauren, maybe like easy first boots, you know, but maybe they get the idol and they can save themselves. Who knows?
I mean, it has to be used, right? Surely if it weren't used, they wouldn't be talking about it right now.
I'm assuming so. Well, the thing that concerns me, we also haven't mentioned this. The premiere is only an hour.
I think that might be why. I bet they have a really crazy first tribal council, and so they didn't want to like cover it by the second tribal council. I think the Super Idol is why it's 1 hour.
Really?
Yeah, because like think about it. If the Super Idol is only good for the first tribal council, then it gets used at the first tribal council, but then we go directly into another tribal council to end the episode, then it's all kind of for nothing. You know what I mean? Like they want the Super Idol there for the magic of TV,
Yeah.
partially. And so like if you hide it behind a second tribal council, then
I
there's
guess
no
I didn't think about it that way.
yeah.
So it probably does get used. And, you know, I'm sure it'll be crazy, and what a great way to start the season, I guess. But
And if that's the case, then I agree with you even more that I think Ryan gets the Super Idol and Devin goes home.
I could see it happening. Or Katrina gets the idol. And I don't know who the hell would go home. I feel like Katrina would target one of the boys, but then I really don't know who it would be. Maybe I don't know, Ben
Alan.
or something.
Well, no, Jeff has said that Ben gets to tell his story on the show, so Ben is safe at least for the first episode.
But what if Ben tells a story the first episode?
His whole story.
But
I see
anyway,
through Jeff Probst.
anyhow,
I don't think Katrina gets the idol though. I think Ryan is a super fan and is more likely to get something like the Super Idol than Katrina.
I feel like someone gives it to Ryan.
I feel like Ryan finds it.
Oh, really? Well, see, people who haven't seen the show before won't be looking for it. So.
Right. The super fan is gonna find it.
Yeah, it might be like Mike or
and it's
Ashley.
also true that if the Hustlers lose, a super fan would want to give the idol to Ryan because they would want it to be used, and they would probably have a good feeling that Ryan would be the target.
Could also be some sabotage going into that because Ryan is not exactly the strongest member of his tribe.
Right.
So.
We want to keep him around, so here.
Which is also why I think they could end up being the disaster tribe. So, and so that's the Super Idol. So I'm okay with it in theory in small doses. I feel like if it's meant to kick the season off in like a crazy way, I'm here for it, I guess. I don't want it to be something that's looming over everyone's head the whole season, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it. If they start doing it for every single tribal council, I'm just like,
please no. But it's confirmed that it's only the first one, right? Has that been confirmed?
Yes. Well, that's what he said. But I mean, I feel like if it was every tribal council, he would have just said every tribal council. But he said it was just for the first one. So, the second thing, ties are now back. So
praise Jesus.
How do you feel about that, Will?
I'm glad. That was a dumb addition to Game Changers. It was one that didn't get used at all because they were veterans and they knew that it was dumb. So like it didn't change the game at all, and so there was no purpose for it to not be there. You know what I mean? I didn't understand why they took it away in the first place. So I'm glad it's back.
I feel like ties add to drama, so
they do. I mean, I get the concept, like it makes sense, but like to take them away because that's also a little bit more dramatic because it would lead to more flips. But like it didn't pan out, and I think it's good that they added it back.
Also, moving on from that, because that's sort of, I mean, there's not much to say about that, I guess. But idols are a little different this year. They're actually etched into a tree.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because to me, I mean, the picture that I saw, because I showed a picture of it, looked very in plain sight to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just seems like a case of who finds it first. How do you feel about it sort of being, other than, because usually it's like in a hole, or they got to dig for it.
You know,
how do you?
I'm kind of half and half because I think on the one hand, a lot of I like a lot of the hidden immunity idol has always relied on the like game savvy players knowing where to find it, whereas the people who aren't as game savvy can't find it.
It doesn't
And
look very hidden to me.
right, and it not being hidden means that anyone could find it, which technically opens the game up a little bit more because it means that anyone could have an idol at any time and not just
It
like
looks like if you were just walking around collecting
yeah, and you saw it,
tree like
then you have an idol.
firewood. Yeah, like it just looks like a thing of luck, really.
And I think that's exciting. I think because it opens the game up a little bit more, right? I think that's exciting. What I don't think is exciting is that anyone could have it and not everyone's going to know how to use it. And so like they're not going to know how to use it appropriately.
I also think the thing I don't like is once someone finds it, like once they've stumbled upon it and finds it, it's going to be not long before someone else stumbles upon it and they see that it's not there. So they know someone has it.
Right.
And so I think that's going to.
It opens the game up a little more, right?
Well, but there's some like fun about it being a mystery. Like we don't know if this person actually has it or not, you know? But I feel like if you see that it's not there, you know someone has it, and you can sort of do process of elimination based on someone's behavior, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. Something Jeff said that I think actually kind of applies to this. He said he like hinted that they really played up the theme of secrets with this cast and like how important secrets are. And this was in the ET Canada interview. He said something about how like he hinted very heavily that because they talked about secrets being important between people, that like there were no secrets. Like he hinted that they did something very odd with those secrets, which made me think that everything is just kind of out in the open, at least for a while this season. And those idols could play into that, right? So like heavy paranoia, oh, it's missing, who has it? So everyone's paranoid. I have a feeling that maybe someone is just like, oh, I have the idol. I found it. But I won't use it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that, like him saying that made me think that a lot of things are going to be out in the open this season, and that idols like that could play very heavily into the idol paranoia.
Maybe. Hard to tell. I just know, I don't know. There's a little bit of fun to it. People thinking, well, no one has the idol, so we can vote this person out, and then that person pulling it out, and everyone just being stunned, you know. Whereas I feel like with this one, anybody could walk upon on that and see it there and see that it's not there. Be like, okay, someone has it. So I don't know.
Right. That makes sense.
I see what you're saying, but I'm also thinking I just love the surprise, but
I mean I do too. I'm not like happy about it. I just am interested to see because the game is going to be so open that
we'll
way.
just
like,
have to see how it works out.
How it pans out
before I decide how I actually feel.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything else?
They're keeping the final tribal layout now. Like they're keeping the new one. I'm not happy about it.
The final the jury speeches or lack thereof format from last season is here to stay, at least for this season, and I'm assuming next season. I'm not crazy about it. I feel like.
However,
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say, however, I took notes on this ET Canada interview. Jeff also said that it's like the season starts really, really slow. So like pre-merge is really slow, but then like it escalates really quickly because everyone's playing. And he said that you don't like even in Final Tribal Council, you don't know who's going to win. So like, and a lot of that is because of the format. He said you don't know who's going to win. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. What it probably means is that Jeff's favorite male player is in the final three with the actual winner, and Jeff didn't know who was going to win. But like, it could go either way.
Also, Will, something else I want to just mention before we go here.
Mm-hmm.
I found it odd that Jeff randomly talked about how they would break a tie at the last finale.
Me too.
I found it highly suspicious.
Suggestive.
And that season had just finished filming before the finale.
Well,
So
I
I'm
think
just like,
you and I talked about this after the finale, didn't we? And I told you that I thought that meant that there was a tie in 35.
well,
I
that's
told
what
it
I'm
to
saying. Like,
somebody.
why bring it up?
Right.
Why? Because for years, his biggest thing, I mean, that was one of the most
Right.
asked questions.
We'll get there
What?
if we need to.
Yeah. Why all of a sudden explain it to the audience?
And now they need to. And so they did.
Highly
I agree.
suspicious.
I agree.
I think there's a tie this season, and I hope it's between Allie and Chrissy.
I
That's my
have.
final.
I think that the tie is between a woman and Ben.
I could also see. I mean, I feel like it's really hard to figure out who the final three is, but
Yeah. I think Jeff is very much so on the Ben train. He also said that there
yeah,
is like a big rootable person this season, and I think he's talking about Ben.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure Ben has a lot of like personal stories from being a Marine in Iraq, and I mean, even his. I mean, I was invested in his story, talking about taking the dog tags of his best friend back to his best friend's
Yeah.
mom, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm sure he has a lot of personal
Mhm.
stories like that, uh, saying how he wasn't really going anywhere in life once he came back, and then he met his wife and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think Ben is going to be someone that the audience really reacts well to.
Yeah. I agree.
And I think he's going to be a fan favorite. And I
Yeah.
think we're going to see him play again.
Yeah.
Just like,
Can I be honest? I'm a little bit upset though that Jeff has told us how to break the tie. Like I would prefer for us to get to this finale and the tie to happen and him be like, "This is how it's gonna happen," rather than like, because I think those of us who are like, who see through, like we see through that, like we're already expecting the tie to happen, and so when it happens at the finale, it's not gonna be as exciting.
do you want to know what I thought happened?
But
I don't know if you ever like personally speculated what you thought would happen. Okay, so I thought this probably sounds crazy to you, but for some reason in my mind it made sense. I thought they would do a they would reveal it was a tie during the reunion.
right,
They'd say they knew it was going to be a tie. They had all this planned. They'd
yeah.
say, "Okay, we're going to let America decide."
I mean, I would prefer that, to be honest. Actually, no, I wouldn't. You know what I would prefer is for all of this nonsense to just end and have the final three vote on day 39 in case there is a tie. Be like, okay, in case there's a tie, you pick one of the other two. You pick one of the other two. You pick one of the other two. Because my least favorite thing about this is that the jury is voting based off of their survivor experience. But then the third place finisher gets to vote based on watching the edited show. And like I think that's good because as long as they like respect the game, they'll want to vote for the person that played the better game. But like two, I'm kind of not okay with it because now they're being affected by the real world. And I don't think that's fair.
I don't know.
I don't like it.
I figured they would uh, do it like Big Brother style and let America vote.
Maybe they would have done that until Russell Hantz mentioned that he thought that America should decide who wins. And then they were like, nope, we can't do it anymore. Scrap it.
I found that highly suspicious that he brought that up. Because
I
why?
did too. Right.
Like there was no one pressuring him to do
Right.
that.
No one asked. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. There's going to be a tie, season 35.
Yeah. Well, I think we had a good conversation. I think we're setting up for a good season. I hope so.
Yeah, I am sufficiently excited.
This season looks really promising. This looks like a full cast of interesting people. So, and I can't wait to see how right or wrong we were.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I'll have to remember what all we talked about and see if any of it actually comes true or if we're just totally off.
Let's do a draft next week.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Let's do a draft next week. That'll be our video. So
Yeah.
look out for that. That's gonna do it for us this week. Uh, don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Tribal Talk. And you really want to follow us on Twitter, especially before the premiere, because Will and I will definitely be live tweeting during an episode. At, at least I know I will. I know
Brooks will be
Will.
live tweeting. I will be live tweeting the next day when I watch it.
Yeah, Will's a little more busy than I am on Wednesday nights, but um, you know, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I hope I
But
get to watch it live. That's the goal. Just to live.
uh, but we'll be doing recaps anyway, and you know, there'll just be plenty of the season coverage to come. We'll do a draft next week, and we'll figure out what we'll be doing the week after that, and then the week after that's the premiere.
I'm so
So
excited.
that's
Keep
gonna do it
saving
for
from the
us.
suffering of BB-19.
Yes, we all need rescuing after the most disappointing season of Big Brother ever. It hasn't ended yet, but I have still christened it that.
It's over.
Um, yeah, I think we know who's going to win.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.